I left Chobe National Park through Mababe Gate, and now I'm heading towards Khwai. Khwai is a community area between Mababe and Moremi Games Reserve North Gate. The water of the Okavango Delta reaches the southern part of the Chobe National Park, and that's the reason for the elephants to be around this area, which otherwise would be too dry. That same water attracts a lot of animals, and this is why Khwai community area is such an interesting place to go for game drives. I think it's very underrated. My last 2 times here were great. I saw many leopards here, wild dogs, and I'm really looking forward to going back to Khwai. The first kilometer of this road was sand, but now it looks pretty good. This is where the road that comes from Mababe meets the road that comes from Maun. If you take the road to the left, eventually you will get to Maun. If you take this road to the right, you will get to the boundary road that comes from Linyanti. It's the boundary between Chobe National Park western side and NG15 on the other side. That's a road that I took when I went from Linyanti to Savuti. The first 30 kilometers is what I know, and it is a nice road, but I don't know the rest. And honestly, a guy told me he always uses that road when he comes from Moremi to Linyanti, and he doesn't want to go through the marsh or the sand road. But I also asked at Mababe Gate, and they told me that it's a bad road, sandy, and with overgrown grass. If any of you knows that road, please use the comment to let me know how it is. I'm heading to Mahoto campsite, which is located on the eastern side of Khwai. But before I get there, I want to take a detour, and I will go to Mababe town, and from there I will drive around the southern part of the river because there is a reserve in there, and I want to take a look. The Mababe River is full of water. There's so much water that a part of the road is closed and you must go around it because you can't cross it. There are so many giraffes in this reserve, and they come from everywhere. And more giraffes. Giraffes all around. The place is absolutely beautiful, and the drive is fabulous. Look at that, more giraffes. There were plenty back in southern Chobe, but here it seems like there's one around every corner. This was Mababe Reserve, a little beautiful reserve around the Mababe River, and with many animals, antelopes. I didn't get to see predators, and dozens of giraffes. So if you're going to Khwai or you're going from Chobe to Maun, it is a nice spot for a quick stopover. This is the final part of the boundary road that goes from Linyanti all the way here, and from here it becomes the boundary between Khwai and Chobe. I don't see anything wrong with it. It is a regular road, not in perfect condition, but it's not bad at all. So I don't know, because when you ask at the gates, all of them tell you not to use it because it's really bad, it's really sandy, it's very overgrown. Trucks use it and they leave deep ruts. I don't see any of that. Again, I only drove the northern part and the southern part. I don't know the middle part. Maybe the middle part is hell, but the rest looks like a perfect road to me. So from here, if you keep that road south, it'll be the boundary of Moremi. Now this is the boundary between Moremi and Khwai. This is the River Khwai, which is also the boundary between the reserve and the national park, and it is beautiful. Lots of animals. Again, lots of giraffes. Arriving at the Khwai River feels like entering a different world. The riverbanks are teeming with wildlife, and it's just incredible to see. There is something about the parks with rivers that amazes me, especially when the elephants are in the water, and this is one of those places. At my hotel campsite, I met my friends Yanni and Jos, who were already there, and next day, first light in the morning, we went for an early game drive along the Khwai River. We found 2 lion tracks. I don't know if the camera will catch it, but you can see it on the left side of the road. One of them, the other one is on the right, but the wheels are covering them. So we are doing some tracking here. I am not that good with that, but Jos is pretty good and he likes what he does, so let's follow those tracks and see if we can find those lions. So many giraffes here. Lots of them. The water level is quite high and some of the roads are flooded, so you cannot drive everywhere you would like. Especially the water crossings into Moremi are very high and we were advised not to use them. We saw 2 different tracks of lions and 1 of leopard, but they seem to be hiding today because it's very quiet. We went back to camp and we were relaxing when all of a sudden we saw a snake crawling up Yanni's chair back. We stood up and the snake went underneath their car. What happened, Jos?
That is a very sorry?
Maar that's
you steal.
Yeah.
What happened is that there is a very dangerous 3 meters long snake under my car.
It went up the engine bay. And this gentleman here is trying to get it out.
Ouch.
What has the car?
This is hot. This is very hot.
Oh yeah.
So what do we do now?
Let me take a
It's
picture.
in the wheel.
I'm doing.
Oh, God.
It went up again.
Here, he's here.
Ah, yeah, it's here.
He's here.
Going backwards.
He's going so fast I cannot make a
Yeah, let
picture.
it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
Don't let it back.
No, there he goes.
Don't let it back. Leave it. Okay, you can take a picture while it's going.
He goes there already.
The snake is gone. It's a boomslag. A young boomslag.
Yeah, that is in the
Very
book, but then
dangerous.
it is a young one.
Yeah, probably was young, but it's still dangerous.
But it is dangerous.
What was it?
Yeah, young boomslag.
Young boomslag. Female, huh?
I'm not sure, because when it's too young, you can't identify it
That's
easily.
not
Yeah.
then.
So it's
Okay.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's that one or that one.
Yeah.
It was a
When
young
it's
one.
rich, it's a full.
Yeah, when he's adult.
Yeah, when it's
It's
adult,
green,
Yeah.
yeah. It had been an interesting afternoon, but we hadn't found the predators we were hoping for. So they headed back to camp to start preparing dinner, and I decided to keep driving until sunset. And as luck would have it, the predators appeared almost immediately, and unfortunately for them, they missed it. The wild dogs were clearly in hunting mode, leaving the open plains of the Khwai River and disappearing into the dense bush. Almost instantly, a line of vehicles followed, navigating through the forest in hopes of keeping up with the pack. The wild dog pack had split in two, making it hard to follow them through the thick bush. The convoy of vehicles split as well, each group trying to keep up. Eventually we all converged at the same spot, where the dogs had found a kudu carcass and began scavenging. Yeah, it really stinks in there. It's unusual to see wild dogs feeding on a carcass that old, and I was amazed by the scene unfolding before me. There was barely any meat left and the smell was overwhelming. I was about 10 meters away and the stench was terrible, but the 6 dogs didn't seem to mind at all. With only around 7,000 African wild dogs left in the wild, they are the second most endangered large predator in Africa. In a place like the Khwai Community Concession, they face constant competition from lions, leopards and hyenas. As I watched, I noticed something odd. The other vehicles weren't paying much attention to the dogs. At first I couldn't believe it, they were missing an incredible sight. But then I realized, they were all looking in another direction. What could possibly be out there stealing the spotlight from a pack of wild dogs? And as if watching wild dogs scavenging wasn't remarkable enough, what happened next left me speechless. A massive male leopard appeared just a few meters away, patiently waiting for the dogs to finish. It's the amazing thing. The dogs are here, wild dogs are here, eating on the carcass of the kudu, and the leopard is there. They are like 20 meters away from each other. incredible. For nearly 20 minutes he watched in silence, his eyes fixed on the carcass, alert to any movement around him. When the dogs finally moved on, the leopard cautiously approached, scanning the surroundings to be sure no other predators or scavengers were near. Then he began to feed from the very same rotting carcass. I could hardly believe my luck. Watching a leopard in the wild is always special, but finding one scavenging like this was beyond anything I expected. Sadly, the light was fading fast and I couldn't stay much longer. Reluctantly, I called it a day and headed back to camp, still trying to process the incredible scenes I had just witnessed. Not long after I got into my tent for the night, a hyena came sniffing around the campsite. An hour later, I heard footsteps again, and thinking that the hyena was back, I peeked out. And there it was, a leopard, right outside. What a wild night. The boys have killed again. It's difficult to see because they are on the other side of this bush, but they are eating whatever they killed. And these must be the same pack that I saw last night. The dogs killed an impala just a few minutes ago. They are there, and you can hear how they are cracking bones. Today is the dog's day. There are these two dogs there on the other side of the river. One of them is still feeding on something that they killed. The other one is looking around trying to find the rest of the pack. And there's a lot of vultures waiting to steal something from them. But yeah, definitely in less than an hour, dogs here and dogs there. heading towards Moremi, Northgate, and I have to say that Khwai is a great place. It's a great. After being in Savuti, the expectations are always high, and Khwai is up to the hype. I don't know if it's the same level of Savuti, but it's another top place for game drives. Of course, in Botswana and probably in Africa too. So I had a great time here. Only 2 nights. Probably you can stay here like 3-4 nights. It's such a beautiful place, but it's also a brutal place. I just talked to this guy and he was coming from a place. He saw an elephant, said the elephant still barely alive, but still alive, and the vultures are already picking on the elephant's eyes. And he said, "Would you like to see it?" And I said, "No, I'm not sure I want to see that. I don't want to see the suffering of the elephant." So yeah, this is an awesome place. It's also a brutal place, like all these parks here in Africa. You can find the nicest things and the most brutal things too.